A lot of people assume that relationships astrologically need to be 100% with compatible signs, usually with your sun sign. It's just not the truth. The biggest indicator of your relationships in your birth chart is through your seventh house. Your seventh house is the opposite sign to your rising sign, and it indicates other people, right? It's about others in your life, one-on-one relationships. But then to this, you might say, well, I don't have anything in my seventh house, so does that mean I'm just not going to have relationships? And the answer is an unequivocal no. You have a seventh house ruler. That's the beauty of whole sign houses. And your seventh house ruler and where your seventh house ruler is in your chart can indicate not just the qualities of your partner, but also where you meet them, for example, and how you meet them. Determining the qualities and the position of your seventh house ruler, what it's doing in your chart, where it is, what it's touching, what it's aspecting, it can be really important in finding out the relationships, the nature of one-on-one interactions in your life. And it goes without saying, like the sister sign to your rising sign is an important sign. You know, it's not only the house of relationships, it's also the house of open enemies. And if you really think about it, these two things are one and the same. You know, the truth is that people do go from enemies to lovers and lovers to enemies. It's kind of the cycle of relationships. You know, you can't have that closeness without something a bit more intense beneath the surface. But realistically, like your sun sign doesn't necessarily have to have everything to do with it. You know, I think there is a truth between sun and moon synastry, which is definitely recognizable. But ultimately, your rising sign, you know, your rising sign, looking at your seventh house and seventh house lord, the ruler of your seventh house, is just the most important thing. And have a look at that, look what it's doing. And it can really show you, if you haven't met your partner yet, like where you're going to meet them, what sort of setting it'll be in, and also just in general, the kind of general sentiment that comes when relationships come up in your life. Of course, just to also add, any other planets in your seventh house will heavily taint that as well. So looking at the ruler and any seventh house planets too. For example, Mars ruling or in the seventh house might indicate a lot of competition, like back and forth in relationships, maybe even competitiveness or arguments. Jupiter might indicate a lot of growth and wisdom through relationships, like naturally wanting to sort of grow with your partner or help your partner grow. Similarly, Venus kind of promises a lot of attraction and beauty and passion through relationships when ruling the seventh house or in the seventh house. Saturn can make relationships quite sparse. So either you're kind of locked in or locked out, like either there aren't that many relationships or none at all, or like one very specific special relationship. It's like maybe a bit more, yeah, it's a bit more sober. It's a bit more like you need things to be real. Mercury might also indicate like just a great communication or great collaboration, like a lot of fun collaborations with your partner too. I've seen Mercury in the seventh houses really sort of conjoin efforts when it comes to business ventures as well, interestingly enough. But yeah, heavy communication with Mercury in the seventh houses. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, have a look at your seventh house lord, look at the ruler, look at what's happening in the house itself, and let me know what your seventh house looks like.